yesterday. Then I'm going to open up my space background. If you don't already have it here, then you would just hit open image from here. So I'm going to go to my space background. Then I'm going to go to File, Open Image, and I'm going to open up my pink Among Us. All right, so the tool that we used the other day was the lasso. Today, we're going to work with the cut out or mask tool. Now, the first thing we need to do is the same as we did last time. So we need to change our sizes of our pictures to make sure that they match up. So this one is much bigger. So if you remember, we took this picture, we went to image size, and we changed this to 1000. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing we tried to do with the lasso tool, but I'm going to show you how to do it with the cutout. So there's a bunch of different options that we have. If you look up here, there are 5 different tools that we can use. I'm going to show you how to use the shape mask, the magic mask, the draw mask, and the lasso is really just like the lasso, so we don't really need to work on that. The other thing I want you to look at is the mode. Right now, we're adding to the mask, and then we're removing from the mask. So I want to switch over to remove from mask because I'm trying to take away the background. So for the shape mask, what I can do is I can legitimately just select parts of the background and notice that once I select it, it's gone. So I'm getting as close I can to my character without going into my character to erase the background. And you can see how that works. Now, once I am using that tool, another option that I have is the magic mask. Now, in a picture like this, it's not as helpful because there's not a ton of areas that are the exact same. But if I click here, then I can start to delete whole color fields. So I'm just continuing to click, and every area that I click. Now, if you look closely, the one downside of this is you'll notice that it doesn't get everything. So then I might have to go back and I might have to use the draw mask. So this is where I legitimately, anything I highlight is not going to be included. And you can see it goes to red. When it's over the red, it's a little harder to tell. And then you can do this. Now with this, I can also change the size. So notice here, I can change it to a really big brush size, to where I'm getting rid of all this when I am using this tool. So I have a flexibility in getting rid of bigger areas if I wanted to. Now, once I get to the point where I'm closer, I want to make this smaller. So I want to come up to that white dot. I want to change my size to be much smaller. I can also change the softness. So if you look, if I go all the way to the left, it's a really hard edge and it'll go right up against it. And then as I go out, it fades. So it'll have a softer or gradient kind of effect when it erases. For this, I'm going to go a little bit further to the left. Now, once I click out of that, I'm back to what I was doing. And again, you have the ability to pick and choose what you are erasing. All right, so up here, I'm going to get rid of this big area. And then I'm going to try to get rid of this. I'll use and this is where you kind of use different tools depending on where you are and what you're doing and what you're trying to make happen. Now, if I wanted to use the lasso tool, I'm going to do it the same way that I did yesterday, and I can just select. And again, I'm not going right up against it because I want to be neater when I go up against the actual character, but I can kind of circle all the things that I'm trying to get rid of. And notice it. If I have that little bit, I can just continue to add. And then down here, for some reason, when you're against that edge, the shape and the lasso tool don't want to work as well. So you can just use your brush or your draw. mask tool for that. Again, once I go over it, I have erased it. Can't really tell what's going on over there because of the recording. And once you can see it kind of closer, you can see that I still had a little bit of red. So again, I'm just going around. Now in this area, I'm gonna have to get a little bit smaller because maybe not that small. And then I might also have to zoom in. Now, I also think it's important to show you when you make mistakes what happens. So let's say I accidentally erase some of that. I would go up here and I would say add to the mask, and I would repair that until it was all the way back. All right, so now that I'm all done, I have everything done. This is where you have one added step. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to my magic wand, and I'm going to go ahead and select the background. Now you can see that I missed a couple places here. For right now, I'm going to leave that because they're so small, but I can always erase them once I glue it and if I see it, or once I paste it, if I see it in there. So what I'm going to do now is I have the background selected. So if I copied this, it would actually copy the background, and the background is not what I want. So what I have to do is I have to go to select and then invert. So invert is basically like the opposite. So invert selection. And then you'll notice that I have the actual person selected. And now I'm going to hit edit, copy, and then I'm going to come over here and hit edit, paste, and there we go. Now you can see this little bit over here. That was that part that we talked about that I didn't quite erase. So now I can just come in here with my eraser. I'm going to go ahead and do arrange so that I can put it where I want to. And just like last time, we would then go to File, Save, and if we're done completely, we can go to JPEG. If we're not done, remember we want to do the PXD because that will keep our layers valuable or like actually there. Once we do a JPEG, it flattens the image and we can no longer move things around. So I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and do JPEG. I'm going to do Brewster, if I can spell my name. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit download. All right, guys, good luck. I want to see how you like this tool compared to the lasso tool.